Rachel, Barrie, thank you for your time and for talking to us. It's been a long journey from the time when Brown-Forman took over Glendronach, Benriach and Glenglassaugh, and a long journey with some surprises, or how did it start for you?
Yes, I mean, it's been 7 years.
Yeah.
But I started in February 2017, and Billy Walker was still there at the time, although I hardly saw him because I think he was buying his next distillery.
Yeah.
So he trusted me and, to just get on and start. And obviously the malts are very new to Brown-Forman. So they had no experience of single malt.
Yeah.
So I brought, now 33 years of experience. And to start with, they were very cautious, didn't really know. And of course, I wanted to go fast to get things done with experience. So that took time. And the surprises, before I started, I didn't know the stock profile.
Right.
So I knew how great all three whiskies were, but when I went into Glendronach's warehouses, I didn't know that there was whiskey back from 1968, which is now, 56 years old. And, all the way from the spirit of the still through those ages. I also didn't know at the time that we had some peated whiskey. So that was also interesting.
Okay.
And slightly unexpected. So I got to know all that stock. And really dug into the 1990s stock because there were a few casks from then to bring that to life through the 1993 vintage and many single casks. And of course, the portfolio of 12, 15, 18, 21, etc. But now I'm at the point of the new era of the Glendronach because we are just ready now, today, for the first time in Germany. We have the 12 years old that is no longer an allocation in the beautiful new bottle that had just arrived here in Germany. And the whiskey started increasing a little in volume in 2012.
Right.
Which means that we are now able to share more. We're now able to build the brand. We're now able to create more of a portfolio, more limited editions than before. So it's a very exciting time now. It has taken time because I started before the stock was really enough to grow the brands, to get the ideas. And then now they can grow.
So you have 3 distilleries to work with, and you have to position them differently.
Yes.
Was that hard work, or did it come to you because of the style of the distillery? It was easy.
Well, for me, I think it's a little bit of nature and nurture. I've been doing this in many other distilleries, for 33 years now, but it was like going back home. So for me, I was born and brought up beside Glendronach. I learned to surf with my dad at Glenglassaugh on the beach, and I learned to glide a plane over the Benriach distillery. So this area in the northeast of Scotland was home to me when I was growing up, and it's still home. So for that reason, I suppose I just kind of feel the sense of place. I feel the character of whiskey. And because of that, I can tailor each whiskey through cask maturation to really bring out what I think is the best of its unique, distinctive character from each location and each distillery. So what I do for each distillery is a little bit different.
Right.
And not all blenders think this way. Some might try and do the same experiments at all their distilleries, and then you see things popping up. Whereas I'm very, very clear what I want to do with each distillery. So with Benriach, for example, it's always sweet casks. Bourbon, virgin oak, it loves to play with oak. Marsala, Muscatel, all these rum, all these really sweet casks. With Glenglassaugh, it loves bourbon, but also like Manzanilla, which is a sherry that has salinity to bring out more of that luscious coastal elixir. And then with the Glendronach, well, it is the truest of all the Highland malts in having a robust Highland character with backbone and structure. And then I, of course, have to use the very best sherry casks to bring out that richness of character.
We had a sneak preview of 3 new whiskies that are coming out in December. And what I found amazing about them, how different Glendronach can be and how Glendronach at the same time.
Absolutely,
So,
duality.
yeah.
And that is underrated, I think, in whiskey. That you can have the depth and you can have the energy as well. You can have both. And especially with the 3 new expressions, you know, in the Master's Anthology, the 3 new expressions, I created them to be, you know, almost like the 1920s. It's almost like a step back in time to a golden era when people didn't really manage to drink whiskey at 20, 30, 40 years old. It never lasted that long. So, and also when whiskey was matured in port and different sherry casks, and it was also peated as well. So it's a little bit of the old style, but it has the energy of, you know, of celebration. As you said, having elaborate conversation. You know, I love that way of describing it. It's like an elaborate conversation. It's like the best art of nature. You know, like Art Deco, and then the notes are just so rich and distinctively different, you know. It's like being in Glen House at the distillery. We have a mansion house just up the hill where, you know, back in the days and, you know, less so today, but, you know, maybe by the 200th anniversary, we'll be having parties there again. But like having parties in Glen House up from the distillery, our beautiful mansion house with, you know, in summertime with wonderful richness of the fruits and the harvest, in the autumn with the embers, with the coal and it comes inside is like a hug. And then when it gets close to being after dark into winter, Christmas, Hogmanay parties, and having a very, very rich and, as you described, elaborate conversation. So I will remember that one. You described it so well.
Rachel, thank you for your time. Thank you for the interview. A lot of people waiting for trying the Glendronach, so I'll step out of it.
No,
thank you so much.
thank you so much.